So nice to have you.
Shit, nice to be here. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, so we got about 20 minutes here if you want to take questions right now. Or
Hell's it? Yeah, whatever y'all want. What's going on? Shit.
All right, well, let's nail them. Let's get as many questions as we can. And once again, thanks for coming out.
Oh, shit, man. It's great to be here, man. I love Pittsburgh. Thank you.
We got a question all the way over here to the right in the front row.
So, real ones. Yeah. So as a disability activist, I really appreciate seeing somebody with your platform, you know, tackle and open up these really like rich conversations about tough topics. So are there any social issues that you'd like to tackle with it in the future?
I appreciate it, and I appreciate you checking it out. Look, the whole deal with that show and what we're trying to do. Hey, Juju, you're all right. You guys are all right. No, look, you know, the whole thing with that is I don't know about you folks, but I'm just kind of like sick and tired of the discourse in this country. The last thing people need to hear from is a fucking celebrity, to be honest with you. Like, I get paid to put on makeup and say fucking lines for a living. But I think that, you know, a lot of these big issues are a lot of the discussions are being led by people who have no real experience, you know, within the issues. And there's a bunch of flag waving. There's a bunch of, you know, I'm on this side or I'm on this side. This guy's the enemy. Like, we're all Americans. You know, everybody loves their kids. Everybody's trying to do the best they can. And so I think, you know, for the show, I've just been really blessed in my life that I've gotten to know and come to love from growing up and through the movies and through everything that I've done. The biggest blessing in my life besides my family is the people that I've gotten to meet. Special forces soldiers, cops, citizens, ex-inmates, poets, teachers. I mean, it doesn't matter. My only criteria for being on that show is that you had to have really walk the walk. You can't just talk about it. And I don't want to hear from celebrities. I don't want to hear from pundits. I want to hear from nurses what it's like in the medical profession. I want to hear from cops what it's like out on the streets. I want to hear from inmates what it's like for prison reform. And so I think for me, you know, as far as like social issues, I'm into whatever these folks want to come in and talk about. Whatever bullshit platform I have, I just want to say, hey, look, whatever, you know, whatever I can lend you, I'm fascinated by you, I'm curious about you. And the only thing I ask from the audience is just to know when I'm bringing a Navy SEAL, when I'm bringing in a cop, these are people who are deeply, deeply respected by their own communities, and you just got to believe me that they're the real deal. And so whatever they have to bring. So, you know, if you had something, you know, whatever you've been through in your life and you had something, let's talk after. You come on and talk about it. You know what I mean? I just want to know that you've really, it's coming from real experience, because I believe once you've really lived and experienced things, you actually have empathy and you care about people who might think a little bit differently than you. And it's just these sort of like flag waving folks on either sides talking from the polls that have no ability to kind of connect and have not lived the issues that they're talking about. So that just frustrates the shit out of me. And I don't think that's what America's about. So, yeah.
Cool. Question right over here, John.
How you doing, Rough Road?
Hey, what's going on, man?
I wanted to ask you, have you ever thought of reaching out to George Lucas for a Star Wars universe
no, man,
idea?
I don't really do that. You know, I'm so blessed to be doing this and like kind of coming from where I came from, and you know, all the just the bullshit I caused my my family when I was young. You know, like I'm just so you know, I've got a wonderful wife and little kids, and I do what I love, and you know, if he wants to call me up, you know, he knows how to reach me. But I don't. I'm pretty. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the kind of guy who would be like, hey, you should put me in your movie. It's like, you know where I'm at, you know what I do, and if there's something that makes sense, then you know I'll give it my all. But I don't really reach out like that. Yeah. But I appreciate you, man.
All right, we got another question over here to the right. We're doing a kind of ping pong back and forth here.
Okay, sure.
Hi, John.
Hi.
You've had the opportunity to play real life characters like Wayne Jenkins and upcoming on HBO, plus comic book characters and as well as fictional. Which character is more of a challenge for you?
Oh, it's, you know, you got to do whatever you do in this world with everything you have. I mean, whatever I'm doing, I'm leaving my family to go do, and I'm putting my kid's name on it. And look, Frank Castle, he belongs to you. You know, he belongs to the comic book fans. He belongs to, you know, law enforcement, military, and people who have worn that, you know, that skull and gone and fought and laid down for this country. So for me, that's an enormous responsibility, whether he's a real guy or not. He exists in the hearts of all the fans. So that's huge. And then, you know, playing a member of the Baltimore Police Department, whatever you want to think about him and the decisions that he made, you know, he's a real man with a real family, and there's people that there's people's lives that he's really, really affecting, both a good way and a bad way. And you know, whatever it is, you gotta go give it your all. So it's not like one is more important or one there's more. I'm pretty fucking terrified every time I start any job, and I'm worried I'm gonna fuck it up, and so I work my ass off on it, and for better or for worse. But it's just the only way I know how to do it. Sadly, yeah. Thank you.
And we're over here now.
Hi, it is so amazing to talk to somebody who I've so much respect for.
I appreciate you.
But as somebody who has grown up with a very similar childhood as you have, what is some genuine life advice that you would give to like the younger generation?
Oh man, I don't know that I'm in a place to do that, but you know, I think as far as you know, whatever pain, you know, you go through, whatever trouble you find yourself in, or whatever hardship you find, I think it's actually can be power. It can be strength. You can turn it into something that works for you. It's a really, I think, tough thing to do, but it's all about your outlook and your perspective. And if you've been beaten down a little bit or kicked a little bit, I think that's power. I think you've been through it. Next time it's not as hard, and it actually separates you from folks who haven't lived it. But the biggest thing that I say is, especially, you know, in my business, you know, you got all these people who kind of want to do, you know, this film acting and stuff, and they want to, you know, be in movies or TV shows. They want to get famous. And the thing is, I see people wasting so much time kind of trying to make connections, trying to get into the right rooms. Well, if I just meet this person, if I can just get in front of this person, if I can just do this. And I just think it goes for life in general. Like, stop worrying about getting in the right rooms. Worry about what you're going to do when you get there, you know? Like, work your ass off. Like, it's the time in the lab. It's the time where nobody sees you. It's the time that you're in there writing, where you're banging your head against the wall and you're digging deep and you're finding yourself and you're perfecting your craft, whatever it is. You know, whatever it is that you want to work on, just working your ass off on it. Work is like a highly underrated, I think, thing. You know, people, if you want it to be easy, you don't really want it. There's nothing good in this world that's easy. So I think, like, taking that pain and that struggle and making it work for you, and then just staying hungry as shit. You know, I think there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's you know, that's what I would say.
All right, John, right down front here. Another question for you.
Yeah, I have a question for you. What do you have any great stories that you shared for us working with Sylvester Stallone in Grudge Match?
It's like they keep popping in my head, and each one I can't tell. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck. Sly, man. You know, man, shit. Me and him didn't get along at first, you know, because, you know, oh, shit. You know, I boxed for a real long time, and you know, I did the movie, playing, you know, De Niro's son in the movie, which was a dream come true for me. He's my favorite actor, but then they also found out that I boxed, so I played him also in the flashback. There was supposed to be this flashback fight in the beginning. I lost all this weight, and I just worked with Scorsese, so I learned his boxing style when he played Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull. And my second son had just been born, and this probably ain't the kind of story you're looking for, man, but shit, we're in. So, you know, sorry for the cursing, but so man, so I had flown out for rehearsal and then to New Orleans where we shot it, and then I flew back to California to kind of meet my son, because I hadn't. My son was born. He was premature. He was still in the ICU, and the NICU, excuse me, and he was just coming home, and I hadn't seen him outside of the hospital. So I was coming home, and when I landed, I heard that Sly wanted me to come back for boxing rehearsal. And I was kind of like, you know, I just landed, and I was kind of like, man, what's he going to teach me about, you know, like boxing rehearsal? You know, like, come on, man. But I was like, all right, you know, I got to do what I got to do. So I got back never left the airport. I landed in LA, got back there, and when I went there, he was sort of in the ring, and he was in there with De Niro doing his thing, and my wife had gotten me this Thai boxing liniment that's real hard to get. I rubbed on my knees for when I sparred, and And I can't believe I'm telling this stupid story, but I got back and we did the rehearsal, but he never, I just started hitting the bag, and he's like, "Yo, like, well, you next," and I was like, "All right, man, I'm, anytime, Sly." He's like an old man and shit, and I mean, he's a legend, but it was like, I was like, all right, and but then the rehearsal ended. He never had me go in the ring. I'm like, damn, I miss my kid, and like, and the guy who was his stunt double was this young guy named Greg Rementer, who ended up being my stunt double. He coordinated that movie Atomic Blonde. He's one of the best stunt coordinators in the country. But like, he was an ex-fighter too. So I was like, hey man, you want to just spar? Because we're here, we're not doing anything. He said, cool. So me and him started working out in the ring, and Sly went in to go get like a massage and a shower, and his masseuse came out, and she said, whose boxing liniment is this? And went into my bag and took my boxing liniment out. And I was like, that's mine. You know what I mean? I had my mouth guard in. I was like holding it with that. I was like, that's mine. She goes, oh, well, Sly's going to use it. We're going to rub some on his bag. I'm like, God damn, dude. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. You know what I mean? So what are you going to do, right? So they went and they did that, and then we sparred. We did our thing, and then he walked out in this suit, and he's like, yo, we'll see you later. And he was walking out, and then she said, hey, by the way, he's just going to hang on to that Thai boxing liniment. You know what I mean? I'm like, mother. I was like, you know what, man? I was like, forget it. I like spit my mouth guard out. I followed him outside. You know what I mean? I go, hey, Sly, man, like where I'm from, you want to borrow something from somebody, you ask yourself. You know what I mean? He's like, yo. And I was like, nah, man. It's like, and he's like, yo, I'll let you box in my gym. And I'm like, hey, look, man, I box it. Like, come on, man. Like, but then I was just, he was so good to me after that, but it did not start in the best way. You know what I'm saying? Some other words were shared, but he was super good to me after that, and we become close afterwards, and I got nothing but good to say about Sly Stallone now. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry.
That's good.
Yeah. That's my.
Yeah. So we have a question from this young gentleman right down the middle.
What's up, big man?
My name's Jonathan. What's your favorite superhero?
You.
There you go. Quick and to the point.
Hey, Jonathan, thank you, man. But my favorite is the Punisher. It's just always going to be that way, man.
All right, we're staying down the middle, but we're up front here. John, I've got a question for you right here.
Hello. So during the pandemic, my friends actually took the time to watch all of the Marvel stuff, all of the TV shows, and they love the Punisher. But my question for you is, how do you feel about like this new wave, like this new resurgence of people that love and admire your performance?
Oh, I mean, look, I'm just super grateful. This is the only word I can think of for that. And I really believe there's like a little bit of Frank in everyone, and if people are getting turned on to it or see it, I don't think you should do that character and shy away from the darkness and the pain. I just don't think. I think my favorite thing about it is that I was always pushing them to let me kind of turn my back on the audience. They're always, when people worry about things like going too far, being too much, I think that's a huge mistake, because I think that's life. I think show all the pain, show all the darkness, show what's going on, then, have an opportunity to kind of win folks back, to let folks know where it's kind of coming from. And, I'm a father and a husband before I'm anything else. And until you understand what it's like to, love someone so much more than you love yourself, that you happily give your life for, you can't begin to imagine what it would be like to lose that person. There's a lot of folks who have felt that. I think you got to honor that. So what I love about that character is that you don't shy away from that, and you dive into the pain, and you rip that wound open, because I think there's something there for that can actually be kind of helpful.
We got time for 2 more questions. You're going to be headed back to your table to sign after this?
Yeah, I go wherever y'all tell me to go, man. Yeah,
all right, that's good. I love that.
Yeah.
2 more questions,
we
and
got
don't
one
forget.
right over here.
Yes, right over there.
So I got to ask, if Shane had beat Rick, how far do you think he would have made it?
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. He had figured it out pretty early, man. That was kind of the whole thing. He figured it out in real time. He knew where everything was headed, and there's something about that. I always looked at him going out there that day. He knew it was his kid. In Lori's belly. I think he knew that, and I think he also knew that he he had taken it too far, and I always looked at he went out that day to make Rick kill him, to make Rick become man enough to take care of his kid and to take care of the woman he loves. So I always played it that way, that it was the only way to get Rick to be man enough, and I don't know. So I think that's a dark fucking way to do it, but that's how I looked at it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, we have this last question. Once again, headed back to his table. If you didn't have a chance for a question, love to hang out with you and ask him later. Last question, make it a good one.
Assuming you continue to follow The Walking Dead to where it's at today, what would you feel like his daughter's storyline is gone?
Shit, man, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so damn busy, man. I love those folks, but I have not followed it. So I don't even know. Yeah, you tell me. That's a shitty last question. I mean, it's a good question. It's a shitty answer. Apologies, but we can do one more.
You have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do one quick one.
Saying I don't know is a bad way to finish.
So I am a NICU mom myself, and it's one of those things that, when you come back to your kids, you always want to have this like happy, strong. How do you do that after doing such harsh, dark characters?
Mm-hmm. I think it's all connected, honestly. I got to spend so much time, on the road and away, and look, I just seem to get busier and busier and busier, and look, there's folks who do all kinds of jobs where they got to go away for long periods at a time, and they're away from their families, and I just always try to keep that kind of perspective, like how many folks have to do that, go and put their life on the line. I'm not doing that, but I think for me, it's like, it's all got to be connected. You got to just be where you are while you're there. If I'm here talking to you folks, like, I got to be here talking to you folks. And when I'm playing that role, or any role, I can't be out at bars or nightclubs or fucking Chinese restaurants or watching YouTube or what. Like, I gotta stay in that. I gotta live in that. And I gotta do that fully, because I'm away from them. But then when you're home, you gotta just be home, man. You gotta put all the bullshit away, leave the phone in the truck, and those. When I'm home, I'm all the way home, and that's kind of for me, my North Star, like my happiness, all kind of is relational to that. When I get to be where I am while I'm there, and I really try to live that way. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Does it? All right.
And we're certainly glad you're here.
Appreciate you. And with that,
yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Keep it up,
I really
Jon
appreciate
Bernthal.
you. Thank you, guys. I'll see y'all later. You don't need to do
that. They need to do that. Thank you,
Love
Jon.
you, Pittsburgh. Thank you.
This is John Glover, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Lionel Luther recommends it. Have some fun. Follow your fandom.